Hit record. All right, cool. All right, guys, thank you so much for being on our call tonight. It is Monday, March 23rd, 2015. And basically what we're going to be discussing tonight on our Team Tubby to Tone call is smart success. So Chalene Johnson is somebody I truly admire. I went to her smart success seminar last year, and smart success helped me to better prioritize my time. It helped me to start establishing systems within my business that allowed me from going from one task to the next and to the next and to the next and multitasking everything to just sticking to one task and getting one task done. So I got a lot of clarity through doing Smart Success last year. But this year we went to Smart Success. It was April McDonald, Brooke Sperling, and Jess Hill and myself. And we all attended Smart Success. And you're probably wondering, why would you go to Smart Success a second time? And the reason you go is because first and foremost, Chalene Johnson is incredible. If you do not understand how amazing Chalene is, you need to check out her podcast. If you're looking for incredible personal development, you're going to find it within Chalene Johnson's, I think it's Build Your Tribe is her podcast. It's amazing. So there's a lot of tidbits of incredible knowledge there. Another reason why you go is because it's not always the same material. So this time around, I learned new material that I didn't learn last year. The third reason why you would go a second time or any time in general is because you are at different stages each time that you go. And so you may have heard something the first time, but it may not have clicked. And so the second time around, it's going to click. You might be at a different stage of growth, a different stage in your business, and you might be more open to the little tidbits and nuggets of information that you're hearing from her. And then finally, one of the biggest reasons that you would go to Smart Success or even any event that's going to help you build your business is because you get to network with other coaches. You get to hear their stories. You get to meet them. You get to understand where they've come from. You get to hear about their success, their failures. And so the networking part is one of the coolest things because you get to hang out with them and you get to see how big this picture is. And so that's one of the biggest reasons why you should go to any kind of event is the ability to network, to learn from other coaches, and then, everything else that you're going to learn from the event itself. So first and foremost, what Chalene was really big about was getting a personal assistant. Now, the idea of getting a personal assistant or maybe delegating a certain task to a personal assistant might sound a little foreign to you. You might think, well, only Donald Trumps or Chalene Johnsons need personal assistants. But the truth is you need a personal assistant or somebody to at least delegate one or two tasks of your business out to, because what it's going to do is it's going to help you free up your time so that you can spend quality time doing the tasks necessary to build your business. Now, I know a lot of you are probably new coaches who are thinking, I'm not successful, I'm not established enough to be able to do something like that. And the truth is it doesn't matter where you are in your business because it is going to help free up your time so that you can focus on more important tasks for your business. So one of the things that she talked about doing is hiring somebody off from Elance. So you can hire somebody off from Elance, or you could even hire somebody personally to do some tasks for you. So for instance, something that I have delegated out in the past is I used to delegate out my thank you cards. So something I do for my clients is when I get a new client, I will personally send them a message on a card through snail mail. And the importance behind that is when is the last time that you genuinely got something in the mail that was sincere, that wasn't a baby shower invitation or a wedding invitation. It was probably something that didn't happen for you. So getting something in the mail is something that's really powerful, because you're making a connection to the person who sent it to you. And I know it seems a little obscure to say, you're creating a connection with somebody, especially if you delegate that task out to somebody else to do it for you. But the truth is while this is an important part of your business to make that kind of connection, there are also many different things that you could be doing that is going to better improve your business, that doesn't take up so much of your time. So, what you could do is you could hire a friend to do your thank you cards for you. You could maybe hire somebody to start reaching out to people on Instagram for you. One of our videos is how to reach out to people. And one of the ways that you can reach out to people on Instagram is that you can like 5 of their photos, and then on one of their photos, you can say something that's engaging, like, wow, your food, it looks amazing. How did you prepare that? Or you could comment on someone's transformation photos and say, wow, you look incredible. What was it you did to get these amazing results? So what you can do is you can come up with a script and pass that on to somebody and hire them for $5 or maybe $10 an hour, and have them reach out to maybe 10 people and do that for you. Give them, if it's somebody you trust, you give them your Instagram account information, your login information, and they can do that for you. I know that for some people, you're still listening to this thinking, oh hell, I am still not at that point where I can do this. But truthfully, there's probably something within your business that you can delegate out that somebody would probably do a lot better than you, so that you can have more focus on the tasks necessary that help your business. So for instance, what I would do is I would hire somebody to go ahead and start conversations with people on Instagram. Like 5 photos, comment on 1. And then after you get an engagement going with that person, you're going to say, hey, I really connect with you, friend me on Facebook. And then once they're friended on Facebook, that's where you step in, and that's where you really get to know that person. That's where you begin to form them, you begin to create that relationship with them. So that's something that just kind of helps you to save your time for tasks that are more necessary. I know other things that you could delegate out could be, you could, if you were scheduling posts, I know I have hired somebody to post my quotes that I do every day. So at like 8 a.m. every morning, I have a post, like a quote go live, some kind of inspirational or motivational quote. You could hire somebody to do that for you. And to give you an idea of the benefit here, let's say it takes you an hour to look at all of the different quotes that you could post and actually make them happen. Actually schedule those posts, either using Hootsuite or Buffer or something like that. Well, if it takes you an hour to schedule 7 posts or maybe 14 days worth of posts, that hour can be looked at in terms of money. So let's say, for instance, instead, in that 1 hour, if you talk to somebody, if you spend that time forming and building relationships with people, you could end up actually getting somebody on board with a challenge package, and then you are making $40 to $50 in that hour. Instead, if you don't have that 1 hour where you are building a relationship with somebody, if you're not doing that, you're spending that hour losing money, where you are spending an hour slaving over, okay, what quote should I post? What image should I share? And then you're essentially out of money. And for a lot of people, I know they are super busy. You're balancing out a full-time job, you're balancing out your beach body and your life. So if that could free up an hour of your time, hiring somebody to schedule posts for you throughout the week so that you didn't have to think about it, and so that you could spend that time instead reaching out to people and getting somebody on board with a challenge package with the potential to change their life, that's more valuable. And if you spent $10 on that and you got somebody to schedule your posts on for you, and then instead you ended up selling a challenge package at $50, your net profit is $40. And you got 2 Success Club points. So that's a come up. That's a beautiful thing. And then, start small. You don't have to oh my gosh, I need to have this person take over my entire business. But start small. Maybe you might take a lot of photos, for instance. You could take a lot of action photos of yourself performing different workouts. And then what you can do is you could send those photos to somebody and have them put in graphics. So you could have them style that photo for you and make it pop. And that way you're not wasting a lot of valuable personal time doing that. So that's something Chalene was really big on. So you can either go to elance.com to do this, and if you need help using Elance is something I've used several times, so maybe we can set up a call. Or you can also use the website Fiverr. Fiverr is a website where everything costs $5. So somebody will do a task for you for only $5. So imagine if you just spent $5 and had somebody just schedule your post for you. That's something that's going to alleviate some stress for you and provide enough time for you to focus on the more essential parts of your business. Let's see here. So here, for instance, she had us create a list of the different things that we do as a coach. And with this list, maybe this can give you an idea of some of the things that you might be able to delegate out to somebody. So build relationships with each Instagram follower. Doing a leaderboard. So those leaderboards I have made where I tag all you guys with your Success Club points and your volume and all of that kind of stuff, I actually delegate that out to a high school student. And this high school student creates those crazy leaderboards for me. And I could never make a leaderboard look that pretty, and he does that for me. Let's see. So another thing I have him do is with my challenge groups, I already have the content made for my challenge groups. So let's say, for instance, if you were running a 7-day clean eating group, we already have those posts made. So what I do is I take my high schooler and I send him all of the posts, and I have him use bufferapp.com and go in and schedule all of those posts for me. And that saves a lot of my time. Edit your YouTube videos. So if you were really bad at creating YouTube videos, or maybe creating Instagram videos, or you find you spend a lot of time doing that, you could hire somebody to do that for you as well. The guy that I have hired, he does some of that for me. And that's kind of that. Give me a second to go through and find all the really key things. All right, so another thing that Chalene had us do, and if you've ever done the 30-day push, this comes straight from the 30-day push. But Chalene had us come up with a list of 10 things that we want to accomplish. And so what I would love to see each of you do is take pen to paper right now, and I want you to come up with 10 goals that you want to achieve within the next 90 days. Preferably, these would be business goals and healthy lifestyle goals, things that you could potentially accomplish with your Beachbody business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give us 3 to 5 minutes right now for you to come up with your own personal list. I see you guys. I want to see you guys doing this. See all those pretty faces, so don't just stare at me here. So what I want you to do, like I said, is come up with a list of 10 things that you want to achieve. Or preferably even a list of 11. 11 things you would like to achieve within the next 90 days. So maybe some ideas of the things that you might want to achieve. Let's just say, for instance, the next 3 months, you want to achieve hitting Success Club 5 each month. Another thing you might want to achieve is you might want to hit Emerald, or you might want to hit Ruby or Diamond. 1 star. Maybe you want to hit 1 star or 2. I see some of you. Another thing you might want to do is you might want to even say, in the next 90 days, I want to be sure that I am consistent with the 3 vital behaviors. In the next 90 days, I want to have accomplished 4 rounds of the 21-day fix. So come up with that list. Make sure you have 11 things here. If you start to run out of business things, it's totally cool to put personal things in there too. Like, so maybe you could put, have a better relationship with my boyfriend or your spouse. And I guarantee one of the ways you'll have a better relationship with them is through the personal development. So I'll give you a couple more minutes here. Maybe you could even put on that list, I have outsourced 1 thing or delegated 1 thing to somebody off from Elance or Fiverr. Or maybe you found an old high school friend who has really awesome handwriting who can start doing your thank you letters for you. And don't worry if you ever did do something like that. Basically, you just come up with a script and you have that person who is doing that for you keep to the script. All right. So now that we have those goals written down, 11 goals, what you need to do is you need to now look at that list of goals and you need to come up with your push goal. Your push goal is the one item from that list that is going to essentially help all of those other things happen for you. So let's say, for instance, I did this last year, and my goal was to be an elite coach. And to be an elite coach, I knew I needed to have a lot of people on our team who were all passionate about helping other people. So in order for me to do that, I made a goal to have an Instagram following of more than 50,000 people. And I knew that if I could have 50,000 people following me on Instagram, that would be a great source for me to find people who would be interested in coaching on our team. So if I had 50,000 people following me on Instagram, that is going to allow our team to grow. That's going to allow us to have a bigger network of people paying it forward. And then that would essentially allow all of my other goals to happen. You know, my goals of being more financially stable, my goals of having 500 people on our team. So look at your list and establish what your push goal is. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and open up, well, I'm not going to open up the lines, but I want to take questions real quick because I'm sure some of you are wondering, I don't know what the hell my push goal is. This isn't making any sense to me. So if you have a question about what your push goal is and you want to discuss your list of 10, right now is the time to do it because I guarantee other people on this call have a question as well. So if anybody has a question, feel free to unmute yourself, and then let's hear from you.
I have a question.
All right, let's hear it, girl.
Okay, so my push goal, I think, is to build up my Instagram following, because like a lot of my goals have to do with like reach Ruby, consistently help 3 people a month, you know, consistently do personal development, things like that, grow the team. And I guess to grow the Instagram following, because that's what I'm trying to focus on right now. I know I've talked to a couple people about different techniques and stuff. So, I mean, my followers right now, I only have like 150. So, would it be a reasonable goal to shoot for like 1,000 in 90 days, or is that too low? Is that too high?
I think that's a good goal. I think 1,000 is really good.
Okay. Well, okay, so I was listening to one of Chalene's things, and she was talking about like buying followers, which is kind of weird, you know, and they're usually ghost followers, they're not like real. And she was saying how you have to be careful, because if your following number goes up too high and then you have like 5 likes on a picture, but you have like 30,000 followers, you know, that could be a problem. But would you recommend buying like followers initially so that when people come to your page, they don't think, oh, she has 150 followers, and just keep going?
That's a great question. I would not recommend buying ghost followers. I know somebody on our team tried that one time, and so what I do recommend, though, is there are multiple ways to build your Instagram following. You can use Instagress, which is something where you get a free 3-day trial, and you have to pay like $10 for a 30-day. That's something I have a training video on how to use Instagress, and even though that is a pretty decent way to do it, I wouldn't really recommend that as being the key way to do it. The other way I would do it is paying to get your account featured. Now, this is something that Chalene had talked about in her Instagram Academy training. Mm-hmm. Paying to get your account featured, basically what happens is you know, there's a lot of accounts like FitGirls_Inspire, or there's other other accounts like videos and such. So what you do, and this is something I did. So starting last year in February, I had an account of 5,000 people following me. And from February up until December, I went from having 5,000 people to having 45,000 people following me. So I was just 5,000 short of reaching my goal. But anyway, so I went and I reached out to FitGirls_Inspire, and I asked them what the cost would be to have them feature my account. Now, you do have to pay to get your account featured, but it's a huge return on your investment when you do it the proper way and you have proper content on your Instagram account. What I can do is we can have a call and we can go into that in a little bit more detail and discuss how to do that. Because to talk about getting featured, that's going to take a bit of time.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll have a call and we'll discuss how to do that. Thank you for your question.
Thanks.
That's a good push goal. All right. Okay, somebody is making a lot of noise. Let me mute all of you. All right, does anybody else have a question? I'll give you to the count of 8, and then forever hold your peace. 1, 2, 3. All right. Who's there?
It's Monica. Sorry, I'm kind of sick, but I wanted you to repeat what you said. I couldn't hear anything.
Okay. Yeah, certainly. We had a little noise going on there. So basically what I said was I don't I don't buy ghost followers. I've used Instagress to build my account, and I've also paid to get my account featured through FitGirls_Inspire. So basically what you do is you ask them, you reach out to them, you ask them how much it would cost for them to feature you, and you provide them either with a transformation photo or maybe a video and a caption. And then they'll go ahead and they'll post that on their account, which draws attention to your account, and you can get followers to your account through doing that.
Can you hear me?
Nope, I didn't hear you this last time. What was it you said?
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you. I didn't know if I was still muted.
Okay, no, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? All right, so I'll count down from 5 this time. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, cool. So we'll go on. So after you figure out what your push goal is, your push goal of, let's say, you want to have 1,000 people following you, your next thing that you need to do is you need to break down your push goal, and you need to figure out what it is, all of the small little tasks that'll help you to reach your push goal. So if you were to brainstorm right now, take 5 minutes to brainstorm the task necessary for you to reach your push goal. So let's just say if you wanted to reach 1,000 followers in 90 days. So what I would be looking to do is basically what you want to do right now is you just want to vomit all over paper, any thought that comes to your mind about what you can do in order to make that happen. So I might research ways, I might Google, ways to build your Instagram following. I might reach out to fitgirls_inspire. I would look up other accounts to get featured with. I would look at using Instagram. I would look up if there are any other auto-like bots that you could purchase or you could use. I would look up hiring an assistant to reach out to people each day on Instagram and like 5 of their photos and comment on 1. I might go through, let's say, for instance, something I've done in the past is I'll go to a fitness pros account. So let's say, for instance, I love, MancoFit. I don't know if any of you are familiar with her off from Instagram. Yeah, okay, I see some people nodding their heads. So I'll go to MancoFit's Instagram, and I'll go to her followers, and I'll see who's following her. And I'll look through their account and see if they have any photos, any fitness photos, nutrition photos, or anything like that. And I'll try to make a connection with them, liking 5 photos, commenting on 1. So that would be something I would do. So you want to basically just try to figure out any way, shape, or form, any of the tasks that you could be doing that could help you to reach your push goal. So does anybody have any questions over that so far? If you do, I'll give you to the count of 5, or counting down from 5. 5. I can help you figure out small tasks if anybody has any. Okay.
Kelly, I don't have a question, but MancoFit changed her name to Massey.Arias.
Oh.
Arias. So
Yeah.
just in case someone goes to search for her, MancoFit won't show up.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I didn't even realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, okay. So, yeah. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, okay. So then what Chalene wants you to do in order to make sure your push goal becomes a reality is once you have those small tasks written out, once you've kind of reverse engineered them, what she wants you to do every day for the next 90 days is take one of those tasks and focus on it for just 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes is a bite-sizable chunk that allows you to do it in a way where you're not overwhelmed. So not only does she want you to do one of those tasks for 20 minutes, she actually wants you to do 2 of those tasks for 20 minutes. So let's say, you are trying to build up your account on Instagram to 1,000 people following you. So what you might do in the first 20 minutes is you're going to set a phone alarm. You're going to set an alarm on your phone for 20 minutes. And in 20 minutes, what you're going to do is you are going to reach out to as many people as possible on Instagram, doing the 5 likes and 1 comment. Then in your next 20 minutes, the next thing you might be doing is looking up different auto-like bots to use that'll help you to build your Instagram account. So you're doing that in a way that is going to help you to make your push goal a reality. Now that we have that set, one of the biggest takeaways for me throughout Smart Success was the idea of multitasking, and how multitasking is probably the worst thing you could ever possibly do. And even though I went to Smart Success last year and I learned how bad multitasking is for you, I also didn't really stick to what I had learned about multitasking. And this year, Chalene just went and she blew the roof off from the idea of how bad multitasking can be. So let me cover a couple of the things she said about it. Give me a second, guys. All right. Well, basically, one of the things that she said is when you are multitasking, you're actually raising your cortisol levels. Cortisol is responsible for stress. It's responsible for keeping fat on your body. And another thing that she also mentioned, let's see. Sorry, I'm sucking right now. Got notes all over the place. All right, I lost my train of thought here. But what we're going to do now is we are actually going to do something that Chalene talked about. So let me share my screen real quick. All right, so this is a hands-on task I want you all to do. So what we're going to do is we are going to have you do this. So what the project is here is I need you to get out a pen and paper. So what you're going to do is you are going to write multitasking. Wait, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so you are going to, when I say go, you are going to write out multitasking, and then you're going to do 1. Jess, if I'm not doing this right, pitch in or say something because I forgot how to do this now. But basically, you are going to write out multitasking, and after you finish writing out multitasking, you are going to write 1. And then after that, you are going to do a smiley face. Okay, Jess, I'm doing this wrong. I am sounding like a complete turd. Jess, do you remember how to do this?
Frantically searching for my notes here. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I know this is super easy, and I'm just making it way too hard in my head.
I also have notes all over the place.
Yeah.
I know exactly where it is, though, once I find it.
Bear with us, guys.
A lot of notes. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry to do this to you guys. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to chip in.
I think what we did, okay, I think what it is, Kelly, the first time Just write out the whole sentence. Multitasking makes a mess, and then copy down all the numbers and then the smiley faces. Is that right? And then the next time you write an M and then a 1 and then a U and then a 2. And then when you finished a word, you do a smiley face.
That's my girl. You were on this call for a reason. Okay. Thank you, Jess. So just to repeat that, what we're going to do is we're going to time you guys. So first thing that you are going to do is you are going to write out this entire line. And then after you write out that entire line, you're going to write out all these numbers. And then you're going to draw 4 smiley faces. And what I want you to do is I want you to, after you are done, I want you to unmute yourself and say done, so that we can keep track of how quickly it is that you guys finish this. So what we're going to do, go ahead and start my timer here. All right, so when I say go, you're going to write out this sentence, write out all the words, and then draw the smiley faces. So on your mark, get set, go.
Done.
All right, so 23 seconds.
Done.
Okay, 29.
Done.
Okay, so we got
Done.
39,
Done.
40. Anyone else?
Done.
Okay, 40.
Done.
52. All right, so we'll stop the clock in just a minute. So what did we have? I think 26 was the first one. So it took 26 seconds to write all of this out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see how long it takes for you to first write M and then write a 1. Then you're going to write U and then you're going to do 2. Then you're going to do L and then 3. And each time you complete a word, you're going to then draw a smiley face. So even like when you get to A, you're going to do the 3rd smiley face here. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the timer again, and we're going to see how long it takes for somebody to get all the way through all of this. All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2, go.
Done.
Ooh, 44,
Done.
47,
Done.
49,
Done.
52,
Done. Wow, you guys are fast.
Done.
1.
Done.
68. So we went from having, I think, was it 26? So the first person was done at 47. So did this help to elaborate how much multitasking can really just throw you all over the place? Instead of sticking to one task and getting it done, you're kind of all over the place with yourself, and you're not quite sure what it is that you're doing, and you're having a really hard time focusing. So what we're going to do right now is I am going to show you a new website I learned about, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. I didn't learn about this at Chalene's Smart Success Seminar. I just learned about it today, but it's absolutely amazing. So let's see here. Cool. All right. So this website is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so it's fbpurity.com. All right, so you're going to go to fbpurity.com, and you are going to install. This is safe. It's legit. It's safe for your computer. There's no viruses or anything. But you are going to go to facebookpurity.com, and you're going to hit download and install Facebook Purity. So whatever web browser you're on, you're going to have to figure out how exactly to get it set up. But once you get it set up, this is the beauty of it. So let me show you this. Oh. All right, so once you have that done, okay, watch this. So I'm going to go to my home page. Woo. Hold on, let me. All right, so do you notice anything about my home page? Anything at all? Anything? Yeah, you don't see your news feed. Your news feed is completely gone, and that is beautiful for me. Another thing that's completely gone is those stupid notification pop-ups that always pop up on the left side of your screen. Those are completely gone too. So Facebook Purity has settings that allow you to get rid of all of the Facebook noise that doesn't do anything for you and just distracts you. So let's show you here. So this is how you're going to set up your Facebook Purity. So you are going to click on FBP right here, and when you first download the Facebook Purity plugin for your computer, when you first use it, there's going to be underneath your comments or where you like post a new status update, you're going to see like a FB Purity thing like right underneath it. It's really not hard to miss at all. But basically, so you open up your Facebook Purity, and right here, the more options, so like newsfeed filters, more options. So these are the things I have set to hide. So for instance, the notification pop-up box, it's hidden. Game and app stories, hidden. Sponsored box stories, hidden. Trending topics, those are hidden. The news ticker bar, so normally there's like a news ticker over here. That's hidden. My news feed, hidden. Let's see. Another thing you can do is you can filter out your event stories. You can do timeline options, so you can hide game and app things. So like if somebody is playing frickin' Candy Crush, you can hide that as well. There's chat options. So you can do like a full screen chat, hide offline friends. I mean, this thing is absolutely beautiful. You can hide stuff in your left column. So I have like the games feed, GIFs, all of that hidden. So this is going to help alleviate a lot of stress in your life. And it's beautiful because now when I get on my computer and I get onto my Facebook, I'm not distracted by my news feed. And I'll be completely wholeheartedly honest with you guys. My news feed used to distract the living hell out of me. I could spend a lot of hours on my news feed. So now I have one task, and that is I just go to my messages and I hammer them all out. This is the first time in a really long time that I've had this little messages in my inbox, and that is because I'm using Facebook Purity to get rid of all of the noise. And see, sometimes if you click on this little button, I'll still have my news feed, but if I click on home, it gets rid of it. And for me, that is just such a stress reliever. Another thing that I started implementing since I attended Chalene Johnson's Smart Success seminar is I started utilizing the airplane mode on my phone. So let me do a stop share real quick. So I started using the airplane mode on my phone. So during my power hour, when I am sitting down to my Facebook messages, I put on my airplane mode, I put my phone aside, and I'm not distracted by all of the frickin' alerts and messages and vibrations and all of that. Because just doing that is it's just distraction. Even if you don't look at it or answer it, your mind is still like, it's off in another place every time you hear it. You're like Pavlov's dog. Every time a bell rings, you're salivating. And so that's what we're trying to stop here. Because imagine how much more valuable your time would be. You know, a lot of people say that with this business, one of the biggest hangups is they don't have enough time. But what if you had uninterrupted time where you sat down, you weren't distracted by your newsfeed, you weren't distracted by the vibrations on your phone or the dings and all of that. And if what it used to take for you to accomplish in 3 hours, you could finish that in an hour and a half, and then maybe have more time to do something else to build your business, or actually have more time for a social life, or meeting new people, or just being with your family. That's valuable. And so that's what you're going to get through doing these kinds of things. Another big thing that Chalene also talked about is just getting rid of distractions. So if you are working in an area where you have dogs coming in all of the time, or you have children running up to you, or, I mean, of course, sometimes you can't help a screaming baby and you need to attend to a screaming baby, but you know, you need to get away from as many distractions as possible. Chalene even said that her place where she does her business and she hammers out her power hours is in a closet in her basement that is soundproof. She goes in her closet, she shuts the door behind her, and she just gets rid, Amy's laughing, get rid of distractions. Yeah, I know, sometimes it's hard, but the truth is the more distractions you get rid of, that way you have the ability to knock out all of those things a lot quicker than had you been distracted time and time again, and then you turn into a multitasker. Because multitasking certainly isn't good. I mean, just from that experiment right there, you can see that it's not worth your time to multitask. It takes much longer for you to refocus on the task at hand. Another thing that was really powerful was Chalene had a speaker called Bo Eason. And Bo Eason, he was incredible. And he talked about sharing your story. And so he talked about, you know, for instance, politicians. You know, you don't buy into politicians because they aren't real and they don't share their story. You know, a lot of people have a hard time connecting with people who are politicians or people who don't share their story. You know, there's just somebody even on your newsfeed, I'm sure, that you're like, is your life really like that? You know, they either seem like it's all cookie cutter or whatever it might be, and you're wondering whether there is truth behind it because everything is just rainbows and unicorns. And essentially, as a Beachbody coach, you know, you do want your life to be portrayed as as rainbows and unicorns, but you also want to be real. You also want to share with people when things are bad, but you want to be the hero and not the victim of your story. So it's really powerful that people know your story. So when Bo got up on stage, he didn't get up on stage and say, "Thank you, I'm Bo Eason. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you. Here's my story." Bo Eason got up on stage. He got right in the center of the stage, and he said, when I was 11 years old, and then he started sharing his story. And from that very second, the audience was completely captivated by him. They hung on to every word because he shared his story. He shared the emotions. He shared the rawness and the realness behind his story. So what Bo gets across is it's really important for you to share your story and for you to share the moments within your life that are ugly. Share those moments that you're kind of afraid to share, because the more you share those kinds of moments, the more real you are with people, the more you're going to attract people who truly want to work with you and who truly can connect with you and who you want to work with. It wasn't until I started sharing my journey with my eating disorder that I started to find some really incredible people coming to me. I didn't have to come to them. They came to me through sharing my story. So the more that you can share your own personal story with people, the better off you are going to be as a coach. The more relatable you're going to be, the more you're going to be attracting people to you, the more people are going to message you and tell you what an inspiration you are to them, the more your business is going to grow, your confidence is going to grow. It's just going to domino effect. So Bo said, what if you don't have a story? Well, everybody has a story. He said, stories or your story normally happens from around the ages of 9 to 12 years of age. It's not the glory days. It's the part of your life that was ugly. People don't buy an idea or a product. They buy you and your story. So what makes our team successful with coaching is we lead with facts tell, story sell. The more you vomit facts on people, the more people aren't going to care. But if somebody has an objection to Shakeology and you share your own personal story, that's going to further propel your business. Another thing that's going to further propel your business is sharing the rawness from your life. Doing those things are going to get you so much further ahead with your business than if you didn't do any of that whatsoever. So Bo said, the more personal your story, the more impact. Personal stories are universal. So, to get to your dreams, you've got to share your story and you need to get to the point. So don't draw out your story. Don't feel like you have to include all of the major details, but get to the real heart of the story, the real nuts and bolts, the pieces that really bring out the true emotion from people, and share that. Another thing was physicality. So he says, stop apologizing for yourself and your body. A lot of people are afraid to own who they are, to own their personality, to own their body, to share their body. We're so quick to apologize for what we've been given as human beings. But it's true, in order to progress your business, you need to step outside yourself and you need to share, photos of yourself. You need to do that because there's somebody who is going to see you and they're going to look at you and they're going to think, that's my starting point too. Or, I can relate to that because that's how I look today. So don't be afraid to share who you are and where you currently are in your journey. And don't be afraid to share where you're going either, because the more you do that, the more you are going to attract people who are in your tribe, people who want to be with you, people who support you, people who you want to work with as well. And then another thing Bo talks about is generosity and giving all of oneself all the time. He said, every time these hands touch a ball, this body ends up in the end zone. So what he meant by that is Bo used to be a professional football player, and he played with a guy by the name of Jerry Rice. And I don't know who the heck Jerry Rice is, but Jerry Rice, I guess, was a really incredible football player. And he did practice with Jerry Rice one time. And so he said it was absolutely amazing. Bo is sharing this story, and he's sharing this story in the only way that Bo can share it, with a lot of physicality and passion and storytelling. But he talks about how what happened during this practice is they're tossing the ball out and people are sprinting to the ball, catching it, and then they turn around and get back into the end of the line. And time after time, person after person, they all run up, catch the ball, and then turn around and get to the back of the line. And then he said, and then Jerry Rice steps up. It's his turn. So then they throw the ball out to Jerry Rice, and Jerry just takes off, and he's sprinting like mad towards it. He catches the ball, and instead of turning back around, Jerry Rice sprints all the way down to the end zone. And Bo's standing there, and he's like, who is this guy? Like, wow, this guy's crazy. And time after time, every time that Jerry Rice got up there, Jerry Rice sprinted, caught the ball, sprinted into the end zone. And so Bo went up to him, and he's like, dude, Jerry, what's your deal, man? What is up with you? Like, you're different than everybody else. And Jerry said, every time these hands touch a ball, this body ends up in the end zone. So what's your lesson with that? Your lesson is give it your all every time. Make sure that each time you do something, it's not a practice run. You are doing it with commitment that you are doing it for the end goal. You are manifesting whatever your dream is. If you want something to happen, you are going to make it happen, and you are going to practice as if this is the actual time in which it's going to happen. That was powerful for me. Another thing, this is really important, and this goes along the lines of being the hero of your story instead of the victim, is storytelling is not therapy. The minute you blame someone is when you lose your story. So you can't blame people in your story. You can't say, because my mom used to always eat Ruffles potato chips, I ended up becoming fat as a kid. You can't say that kind of stuff. But what you can do is, you could say, my mom used to eat too much, and because of that, I grew up in this environment where it was a learned behavior for me to eat. And I don't blame my mom, because I'm thankful for where I am today, because had I not been in that situation, I wouldn't be who I am today, here to share my story with you. So you need to find a way in order to make you need to find a way that you are bringing about your story in a way where you aren't the victim. You aren't portraying yourself like, woe is me. It's a victim story. Make sure that you are the hero each and every time. So those are probably the biggest takeaways I got out of Smart Success, although there were so many more. But Jess, do you have anything that you want to pitch in? And yes, Elena, that is a pineapple lamp behind me.
I never would have noticed that was a pineapple lamp.
Yeah, it's a pineapple lamp. Florida.
I have a question.
Okay, sure.
When's the next one of these where you went?
Okay, Smart Success happens once a year.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one, you could probably look at seeing invitations to it in March of 2016.
Okay.
Good question. You going to get yourself to one?
I'm thinking about it because I was researching previous ones and I was really jealous. I was like, I need to go to one of these. So.
Yeah, it's an incredible time. You learn so much value from her, and she's so much fun. It's not like you're just sitting in a seminar for like 12 hours with your butt going numb and foaming at the mouth. She gets up and she makes it fun. Like there's little dance breakouts in between. She's just absolutely incredible.
Sounds like a blast and good learning experience.
It is. If you go to her Instagram account, actually, there's a video up of Smart Success, and it's Chalene, and she's got like a GoPro thing, and we're all dancing in the background. And if you pay close attention, you can see me and Jess front row up there dancing. It's pretty cool.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, check it out. All right, Jess, so what were your biggest takeaways or things that you want to share with the team?
Yeah, so a lot of it you did cover already. I'm going through my notes and taking some notes about what, were kind of the most important parts to me. So one of the big things, I guess, just kind of starting from the beginning of the conference, she talked about defining success for yourself. And for me, that was really valuable because I'm sure I'm at right now, success for me will look different than what success for you would look like because you are further along in your business. So that was one thing I found really valuable, just kind of thinking about, like what your ideal day would look like, or, what your own personal goals are, and figuring out what success means to you. Because again, for you, maybe success means, being able to go to Florida at the drop of a hat and, check out places. Whereas for me, maybe it's more about, just being able to pay bills or something right now. So that was one thing I found really useful. So just defining what success means to you right now. And I mean, it's definitely possible that those goals and that definition of success will change, but I think that's really important so that you have kind of this general like vision of what success means and what you want your life to look like. So then when you are setting those goals, every goal that you create and every, task that you decide you need to do is helping you work towards that vision of success for yourself. Another thing that I found was really important that she talked about was the idea of key priorities. And you did touch on that a little bit. But she talked about how, she'll set 10 key priorities for herself, maybe like once a year or something. So that can be, business related, health and fitness related, spiritual, financial, with your relationships, with your marriage, whatever it may be. But then of all those goals, to take the one that needs the most work and calling that one your current key priority. So this is the one that you need to focus on the most. And then I actually took that key priority, that current key priority. So for me, it was financial, because we had to rate, so with your relationships, you had to rate a score of 1 to 10, how well you're personally doing at staying on top of that priority. So for me, my relationships are really good. My health and fitness is really good. That sort of thing. But for me, my finances were really, really low. So I decided that that's something I need to focus more on so that my life can be better balanced. So I found that really valuable, just to kind of rate your priorities and see where you're good with things and see what you can work on the most, because that's where, by bringing everything to kind of like an 8 or a 9 or a 10, that's where you're going to find balance in your life. So for me, I know financially is where my biggest stress is right now for my husband and myself. So I decided that I wanted, all my future goals for the next however while, like maybe my 90-day push or whatever, to be focused on financial, so that I can bring up that score so that things are more balanced. Another thing I really like the idea of, you kind of talked about the idea of using Elance and outsourcing and delegating. And for me, I know we've talked about this, for me, that was one that I struggled with. Because to me, they got us to figure out our annual hourly wage. So basically you take your annual salary, you divide it by however many weeks you work. So for some people it's 52, for some people maybe you take a couple weeks vacation, so it's 50. And then that gives you the amount that you make in a week. And then you divide that by the number of hours that you work in a week. And that tells you basically your hourly worth. And for me, that was kind of scary, because I know I don't make nearly as much money as I need to be in order to be surviving. And one thing that really helped me to see was that anything that you're doing that can be done for less than what your hourly wage is, outsource it. So for me, I signed up an account on Elance, and I'm going to outsource someone to do a logo for me, because I don't have a logo for my brand yet. So that was a small, simple step that I could take, because I don't know if I'm personally ready financially. It still stresses me out, the idea of paying someone for something that I could do myself, but I do believe that Chalene is on track when she says how important it is to delegate. So I'm starting with something small. So I know you had mentioned maybe outsourcing, people to send thank you notes, or to, go on and like things on Instagram, like and comment things. So that's another really great way to do it. But I would definitely encourage everyone to even find like one task in your life that you can outsource to someone. So maybe that's even hiring a housekeeper. That's something that my husband and I are going to talk about. He doesn't know it yet, but we're going to talk about that, because for me, I can't really work well if my environment is untidy or if it's messy. And then the thing too is I get so stressed about it being messy that I don't clean it because I'm so stressed about having to clean it. And then that means I'm not cleaning it and then I'm not getting work done. So that's really impacting my business. So I think for us, it'd be really financially smart to hire someone to come in a couple times a week and clean the house. So that's, again, another option for something that you can outsource or delegate. Another really good thing that I really liked that Chalene talked about was the idea of using screen flows. And it's kind of what you did tonight, Kelly, when you were showing us how to use the Facebook Purity group or the site. So I don't know if you guys noticed. So Kelly showed us the page and she was walking us through how to sign up for it, how to use it. But then you could hear her voice talking about it at the same time. So that's what a screen flow is. So this is a way that you can, so this is something that I would use, say if you're doing a lot of training a lot of times. So if you have a lot of coaches who are like, new coaches who are like, hey, how do I use Coach Mobile? Or, if you have a coach who's like, how do I get reimbursed? I bought a challenge pack, how do I get reimbursed for the coaching fee? So kind of those like frequently asked questions that you might deal with a lot. Create a screen flow or, a system that you can put on paper or record so that you can just send that to people instead of having to always be answering those same questions over and over again. So that's something that I'm going to start implementing in my own group and just adding to the files section. So those little daily things that, to me are now second nature that new coaches, definitely need to learn. I'm going to start doing a screen flow or start creating a system that I can share with them to make my own time, to value my own time more and to kind of make it easier. So that way everyone's getting the exact same training as well. Another big thing, I think that probably a lot of us, just based on the type of person who tends to be a successful coach, I think a lot of us are probably really bad at saying no to other people. And we tend to get a lot on our plates. So I personally am going to start saying no to more people. Things like saying no to family dinners because we live really close to my husband's family. And when I say family, I mean like, aunts and uncles, and there's 60 of us at dinner every Sunday. So I'm going to personally start saying no more often to things like that. Or, when we get invited to parties and that sort of thing, just because for me, that's something that I find kind of stressful because I am introverted and I like to recharge by myself. So I'm going to value my own time and my own energy and start saying no to things. And that was something that I really took away from what Chalene talked about as well. Baby's kicking, so it feels so funny.
Cute.
I think that those are kind of some of the really main points that I got. I mean, there's so much more, but I could go for hours and hours, and I don't want to keep everyone. But I also, Kelly, actually, at some point, I'm probably going to do a team call with my own team and talk a lot about some of the same stuff.
Cool.
So after that, I can record it as well and share that with our group too. So
that would be awesome if you could do that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all that. And I'm glad that you brought up the screen flow thing. So another idea of things that you could do for your screen flow. So you could do, if somebody is interested, you could do this for a client, say. You could record yourself using Zoom. So Zoom is what we're using right now, and Zoom is free. So there's a screen share option on it. So you would press screen share, and then what you'd do is you would go ahead into your office, or you would go to like teambeachbody.com, and you could create a recording of how to alter your Shakeology. Change it from like chocolate to vanilla, or maybe postpone it or do something like that. And so when you have a client who is like, how do I do this? You just send them a video of yourself, and it's simplified. If you have coaches on your team, you can do a screen flow of how to set up their electronic funds transfer. You could do a screen flow of how to create a Facebook group. You could do a screen flow of how to set the preferred placement in your back office for your downline. You could do a screen flow of even how to purchase a challenge package, a 21-day fix. That's brilliant. I didn't even think of that. You could do that, how to purchase the 21-day fix challenge package from your website. So you could do a screen flow of anything that you frequently do that you feel like time and time again it's just getting monotonous for you to be telling people how to do it, and that's going to save you a lot of time. So what I want you guys to do is I'm going to go ahead right now and I'm going to create a thread in our Facebook group. And I want to know two things. I want to know, one, something that you are going to screen flow. And then two, I want to know what your push goal is. And what I'll do then is I'm going to go ahead through all of the people who comment and share those two items. I'm going to raffle off a gift to one of those people who shares, as long as we get 10 people to do it. So we had over 20 people on this call. There's no reason we can't have 10 people participate. So that is the call for tonight. I thank you guys all for being on the call. Appreciate every single one of you. I love you all so much. Because of you guys, our team is amazing. We have just such an incredible culture on our team. We have so many cool people. And honestly, if you aren't friends with at least 40 people from our team on Facebook, you're doing something wrong. You need to start reaching out to more people, because we have just such a cool team and such just an amazing network of really empowering, uplifting human beings. So thank you guys again for being on the call. Do those two things. Let me know what you are going to screen flow, and let me know what your push goal is. And a reminder, if you want to do a screen flow, you can download Zoom on your computer for free. Then once you do that, there's an option to do a share screen. After that, and you also want to hit record. And then after you do that, there's going to be a little file that'll pop up with your recording. You're going to create a YouTube account, and in your YouTube account, you're just going to drag and drop that file from Zoom on over to the upload section in YouTube to upload that. And then that is that. So do those two tasks. Hope you guys have a great week. Let's make this a hell of an awesome week. Let's make it strong. Let's help a lot of people, and just let's achieve some freaking awesome goals here, guys. I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks a lot. Bye, guys.